Hello, and a very warm welcome. I'm so glad you're joining us for this part of your online learning journey with Europe Hotel School. I'll be your guide as we explore the absolutely critical world of hotel analytics. My background is in applying modern data and AI to really elevate hotel operations, and we're truly excited to help you build the skills you're going to need to thrive in this amazing industry.
You know, in today's market, which is just unbelievably competitive, being able to analyze and interpret data, well, that's not just a skill anymore. It's the defining capability of a modern hotel leader. It's what really separates the good from the truly great. Data-driven isn't just a buzzword. It's the fundamental ability to understand what your guests want, what the market is doing, and how your hotel is actually performing. So, here's our game plan for this session. We're going to walk through these 5 key areas. We'll start with the right mindset, what it means to be a data-driven leader. Then we'll learn the language, the KPIs of hotel analytics. We'll see how that data fuels your commercial teams, how to use it to look into the future, and finally, how to pull it all together to lead with real, actionable insights. All right, let's jump right into our first section. When we talk about being a data-driven leader, what do we really mean? Well, at its core, it's all about making those smart, strategic decisions that set the highest performing hotels apart from everyone else. I mean, just think about it for a second. Every single time a guest books a room, leaves a review, or clicks on one of your ads, that's a data point. And it's not just random noise, not at all. It's a rich story that's telling you exactly what's working and what's not. The real shift happens when you move beyond just using gut feelings and start building your strategy on a solid foundation of evidence. Okay, so we have all this data. Now what? How do we make sense of it all? Well, the first step is you have to learn to speak its language. And in the hotel world, that language is built on something we call KPIs, or key performance indicators. Getting these down is absolutely fundamental.
So, let's start with the most fundamental one, occupancy. This is really your hotel's basic pulse check. It's a simple percentage of all the rooms you have available, how many are actually occupied on any given night. It's a vital sign for sure, but it only tells you part of the story.
All right, next up is ADR, which stands for Average Daily Rate. This metric answers a different question. For the rooms you did sell, what was the average price you got for them? This is a direct measure of your pricing strength and how effectively you're selling your rooms on any given day. And that brings us to what is arguably the king of all top-line metrics, RevPAR. That's revenue per available room. See the difference? This one is so powerful because it blends occupancy and ADR together. It gives you the full picture of your revenue performance across your entire hotel, not just the rooms you sold.
This is where things get really interesting, because these numbers don't live in isolation, they tell a story together. So let's say you look at your report and your occupancy is at 95%. Amazing, right? But then you see your RevPAR is in the gutter. What's the real story there? Well, it's screaming that you probably filled all those rooms by slashing your prices. You were busy, but not necessarily profitable. A great leader sees that story and makes a smarter call next time.
Okay, so now that we've got the basics of the language down, let's apply it. Let's look at how data fuels the engine room of any hotel, the sales and marketing teams. This is where metrics become strategy. Now, sales and marketing, they're two sides of the same coin, but they're looking at different things. Your sales team is all about the finish line, right? They're tracking conversion rates, how fast they respond to inquiries. Basically, are they turning leads into actual bookings? Marketing, on the other hand, is at the starting line. Their job is to fill that pipeline by looking at website traffic, campaign ROI, and how much it costs to bring in a new customer. And this is where data becomes your best friend. Imagine your marketing team runs a campaign that gets tons of website traffic, but nobody books. Is the campaign a failure? Absolutely not. It's a hugely valuable piece of information. It's telling you, hey, something's broken between the click and the confirmation. Maybe your messaging is off, or the website is confusing. The data points you right to the problem so you can fix it. Looking at past performance is great. It tells you what happened. But the best leaders, they're not just looking in the rearview mirror. They're looking ahead through the windshield. That's what forecasting is all about. Using data to see what's coming so you can be proactive, not reactive. And look, a solid forecast isn't just pulling a number out of thin air. It's a process. You always start with your own history. What did we do this time last year? Then you start layering things on top. What are our competitors doing? What are the market trends?
And don't forget those external factors. Is there a huge conference in town? A holiday weekend? You pull all of that together, and that is how you build a real strategy that puts you ahead of the game.
Okay, this brings us to our final section. And honestly, it's the most important one. Because you can have all the data in the world, but it means nothing, absolutely nothing, until a leader steps in and turns those insights into action.
As a leader today, you have this incredible toolkit at your fingertips. We're talking about revenue management systems, or RMS, customer relationship management, or CRM, and those business intelligence dashboards that bring it all to life visually. Learning to use and interpret these isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's absolutely essential.
But, and this is so important, never forget that these amazing systems are just tools. They give you the information, but they don't give you the wisdom. True leadership is about taking that information and applying your strategy, your experience, and yes, sometimes your courage to make the right call.
And a huge part of leadership is how you use data with your team. This is critical. Data should never, ever be used to punish people. Think of it as a tool for coaching. If a team member's numbers are down, the data isn't there to criticize them. It's there to open up a conversation, to ask, how can I help you succeed? That's how you foster real growth.
At the end of the day, when you build this kind of culture, it makes the whole hotel stronger. When people know that decisions are based on facts, not just feelings, it builds an incredible amount of trust. It gets departments talking to each other, all working from the same playbook towards the same goals.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. Think of your hotel's data as a constant conversation. It's always talking, always telling you what's happening with your guests, your market, your performance. The real question for you as a future leader is this: are you ready to lead that conversation?